Arsenal have sent out a statement, winning at Spurs for the first time in 8 years. This was gargantuan. So from a midfield masterclass to Aaron Ramsdale's super saves and the truth behind Mykhailo Mudryk, we have so much to break down. So here are the 5 things that we learnt from Tottenham 0, Arsenal 2. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Mouse14 and welcome back to your boys channel. Sensational scenes at the lane, a gargantuan victory. So as per, smash a like if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 150,000 subscribers. Let's start off by discussing the midfield masterclass. Mikel Arteta's midfield three of Martin Odegaard, Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka, an integral part to our title charge. This game, these guys were dominant. Starting off with the performance of Granit Xhaka. 61 touches, 48 accurate passes and a 98% passing accuracy. One big chance created. He only lost the ball 2 times. Defensively so solid, but also going forwards on the ball, making runs into dangerous areas and making a fantastic chance for Eddie Nketiah. He's got the perfect mix of experience. Defensively, he is so reliable. He is the balance provider of the midfield. And he's also someone that's very passionate. And that was on display after the game. As he walked over to the Spurs players, Mikel Arteta was on his bike chasing down Xhaka and making sure nothing stupid happened. But you also have to shout out the base of the midfield, Thomas Partey. Outstanding once again, a 7.9 overall rating, 90 touches, 68 accurate passes, at a 91% passing accuracy, 1 key pass, 4 out of 5 long balls, and 4 out of 5 ground balls won. In many ways, Thomas Partey is the perfect blend of what Mikel Arteta wants. Having worked under Diego Simeone, you can see the elite defensive ability to cover ground, to win the ball back. It gives Arsenal a base and security, but what's most impressive is his passing going forwards. He is so decisive. He is so aggressive. The one touching pass makes him a metronome, and he played a massive part in both of Arsenal's goals. The first one playing a lovely long ball over the top to Bukayo Saka. Doing similar for the second. Arsenal's entire game plan is getting the ball into the final third, straight to his dangerous players, and that is where Thomas Partey's passing range is absolutely perfect. Partey is up there right now with the best number 6s in the Premier League. But the crown jewel has to be Martin Odegaard. On fire once again and even scoring a goal. On his left foot, when given time and space, Martin Odegaard has this in his locker. In 17 league appearances, that is 8 goals and 5 assists this season. 6 of those 8 league goals have come away from home. Odegaard is silencing his critics, showcasing that he can thrive in tough environments. There is no other midfielder in the Premier League that has more goals than Martin Odegaard this season. He has just won the Premier League Player of the Month. This level of performance makes me question, is Martin Odegaard the most in-form midfielder in the Premier League? 2. Tactical versatility. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal team is built in many different ways. It has variety, and in this game we showed our variation. The first half, Arsenal was simply dominant. They bullied Spurs. They tactically pulled their pants down. Spurs fans were booing because they could not believe it, that a team had come to their ground and been so dominant, been so authoritative. The Arsenal press was suffocating. They were targeting Hugo Lloris because they realised that in terms of Spurs, they do not have the same ability that Arsenal have when it comes to playing out of the press. And that's where Arsenal come into their own. Arsenal were controlling transitions, sustaining pressure. They could smell the blood, and in the first half, they went for the kill. So in terms of the overall expected goals, Arsenal are once again winners with a 2.43 to Spurs' 1.63. And in terms of the rest of the stats, Spurs actually had slightly more possession, but Arsenal had a lot more of the field tilts and 65 final third entries. As the field tilt shows, in the first half Arsenal were dominant, but in the second half, as expected, Spurs came back into the game. But what's very intriguing is the passing networks. The Arsenal one, as per, is spaced out and symmetrical, but on the Spurs side, what's very noticeable is how deep their left hand side. In the first half, Arsenal were killing Spurs on the right hand side, and Saka was drifting inside so often. There was a lovely cohesion, and Saka was causing them so many issues. And Spurs was so scared of Saka that Conte even left out one of his best wing backs in Ivan Perisic, because he realised the threat that Bukayo offered. And by assisting the Arsenal second, that is now 7 league assists, the most out of any under 21 player in Europe's top 5 divisions. But as the XG shows, Spurs had chances, and in the second half, as expected, they came around. But that's where Arsenal showed the other side. Mikel Arteta's tactics allow Arsenal to thrive in different scenarios, and while in the first half Arsenal showcased that Man City-esque dominance, the second half they showed their effective low block. They gave the ball to Spurs in areas where they could hurt us the least, and it was all about defending our box. We showcased the mental strength to go to a rival ground away from home, and even after wave of pressure, the Arsenal players stood firm. They were strong. This is why Mikel Arteta's Arsenal is so special. They are not a team that has only one way of playing, and that level of variation means that going into the future, when we get back into the Champions League, Arsenal will be able to go tactically toe-to-toe with any team in the world. 3. Respect Aaron Ramsdale. They often say to win titles you need your goalkeeper to save you 15 to 10 points a season, and in this game Aaron Ramsdale stood tall. An 8.8 overall rating, 7 saves and 2 high claims. Ramsdale's ability to make 1v1 saves, to stand tall in tough moments, it saved Arsenal in the first half, especially in a massive chance for Heung-min Son. But what Ramsdale also showcased was elite positioning. Off his line and being proactive, he closed the angles down and made it a lot harder for the likes of Harry Kane to score. The scary part about Ramsdale is he's only 24 years of age. He's a baby in terms of goalkeepers, whose distribution has always been amazing, but now we are seeing a keeper that is growing with experience of goalkeeping. And then he also has the mentality. He loves to wind up the opposition, and he was at it once again in this game, winding up the Spurs fans, and they could not handle it, and things got out of hand. But this is why Arsenal fans love Ramsdale so much. He's not a robot, and Arsenal fans see a player that they can connect to. And the fact that Arsenal signed him for £30 million at such a young age, Mikel Arteta's talent ID strikes once again. But on the defenders, we have to praise the great wall of Arsenal. Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba, monstrous. Harry Kane was utterly pocketed. Saliba was back to his best, and in terms of Gabriel Magalhaes, we have to give this guy credit. So many fans were quick to jump on his back when he was making mistakes, but recently this guy has been flawless. He's been so dominant. Alongside Saliba, these guys have formed a partnership. There seems to be a natural chemistry, and away from home these guys have been supreme, where I believe Arsenal have kept the most clean sheets out of any team in the Premier League. Moving on to the fourth thing, the underrated Gunners. We are not a team full of individuals, we are a cohesive unit, and there are so many integral parts. One definitely being Eddie Nketiah, who in the absence of Gabriel Jesus is simply thriving. And in this game he could have easily scored 2 goals. His movement was razor sharp and he was causing Spurs so many issues. He had Eric Dyer spinning like a fidget spinner, and his ability to hold the ball up causes chaos in the final third. And he always gets himself into the right positions. And this was very much a Gabriel Jesus-like performance, where he provided Arsenal with an outlet, running at the Spurs players, winning fouls and free kicks. The fact that Arsenal fans aren't even speaking about Gabriel Jesus just goes to show how great Eddie Nketiah has been. But we also have to talk about Alexander Zinchenko. Moving into midfield, this guy is sensational. The ball control is amazing, but also in terms of winning his battles. Today Zinchenko won 4 out of his 4 aerial duels. He understands that role to a T, and when he moves into midfield alongside Ben White and Thomas Partey, it makes our team compact. Højbjerg and Sarr were outnumbered. Arsenal had the numerical advantage, but we also have to give praise to Mr. Consistent, Ben White, who had a fantastic game in terms of numbers, a 90% passing accuracy with 49 passes completed, the most passes in the final third, the most passes into the final third, the most clearances, 4 duels won, 3 aerial duels won, and 0 times dribbled past. Winter is here and it's cold, but Heung-min Son had no reason to worry, because he was kept nice and warm in the pockets of Ben White. It's hard to understand how a centre-back has got this level of lapausa, this level of calmness in the final third. The fact that he is still new to this position, with more experience and more time, at 25 years of age, the potential is scary. Moving on to the fifth thing, and that is Kings of London. What is the colour of London? Well, the Arsenal players have given their answer emphatically, as Arsenal have won all 7 of the London derbies this season, beating Fulham, Spurs and West Ham at home, and then beating Palace, Brentford, Chelsea and Spurs away, without conceding a single goal. Those away games have always been so hard for Arsenal, but this Arsenal team has become a mentality monster, and Mikel Arteta has instilled a mentality where these Arsenal players have confidence in their tactics, and know that if they play to the plan, Arsenal will always have the advantages to win the game. And after 18 games, Arsenal now have 47 points, the most points that we've had at this stage of the season in our entire history. That is why Arsenal are fighting for the title, and in terms of the title race, it's been a massive few days, as Man City have dropped points, losing 2-1 in the Manchester derby. So with Arsenal responding by beating Spurs, at the halfway mark they have pulled 8 points clear top of the Premier League. Forget about the if, buts and maybes, Arsenal are officially in a title race. Watching that Man City game against Man United, City look vulnerable, and having dropped points in 6 games this season, they might have Erling Haaland, but without the likes of Sterling, Jesus and those wide outlets, City almost look one-dimensional. For me, Arsenal have a real opportunity. Title number 14 could be around the corner. And with this current Arsenal first team, I'm always going to be confident, but the real concern is the lack of squad depth. If the likes of Partey, Osaka, etc. were to get injured, Arsenal do not have the same level of squad of a Man City, and that is why they are trying to invest in the transfer market. They were trying to sign Mykhailo Mudryk. They made 3 offers, the last worth €70 million, and that deal looked like it was advancing. Arsenal were closing into it. The player was obsessed with Arsenal, personal terms were already agreed, but in the transfer markets, always expect the unexpected, and that's where you've got Todd Bowley's Chelsea, as their board flew over to Poland to reach a verbal agreement with Shakhtar for Mudryk and hijack the deal. with an official bid of 100 million euros. The exact amount that Shakhtar have always been asking for that Arsenal were never going to pay, but Todd Bowley was. And therefore, my friends, Mykhailo Mudryk is going to Chelsea. Fabrizio Romano has given us a here we go. Mudryk has undergone his medical and Chelsea have officially announced the signing. Mudryk has signed on an 8.5-year contract. And for many Arsenal fans, it's a massive surprise. How can a player be so desperate to sign for us, yet accept to move to Chelsea? But in all honesty, he hasn't picked Chelsea over Arsenal. This is simply a case of Shakhtar not accepting Arsenal's deal, because Chelsea made a better offer. And in terms of the finances, as Miguel Delaney confirms, Chelsea have offered Mudryk £100,000 a week, double of Arsenal's offer of 50. Arsenal instead was sensible. They stuck to their plan and they were never going to match the valuation, especially for someone that has made less than 50 league appearances and scored only 9 league goals. Mikel Arteta definitely could have done special things with Mudryk, but ultimately speaking, money talks, and Arsenal made a very reasonable offer. But up against a Chelsea team that is spending money like it's career mode, there's not much Arsenal could have done. And as Fabrizio Romano says, even though Arsenal wanted Mudryk as a priority, Arsenal have always been clear in the last 2 years. There is no bidding wars, respecting the club's strategy and no panic. This is their way. Arsenal are top by 8 points, and that is because of Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar. So comment down below your thoughts on Arsenal not paying the 100 million euros for Mykhailo Mudryk. But now that he's gone to Chelsea, Arsenal still are looking for a wide forward, and it looks like they could turn to a former target. As Lazar Kinsella confirms, Arsenal have made contact over a move for Rafinha. He only signed for Barca in the summer and it was a massive saga that Arsenal fans know about too well. But with Barca being in financial crisis and needing money, there are some rumours that Rafinha could be allowed to leave. And with him being a player that Mikel Arteta has clearly wanted in the past, are Arsenal going to make a move? And as tonight shows, his Arsenal team is there and it is now over to Edu Gaspar. What does he have planned and who can Arsenal sign in these next weeks? But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was the 5 things that we learned from Tottenham 0, Arsenal 2. A victory 8 years in the making. It was sweet, it was sensational, but Arsenal need signing. So Edu Gaspar, it's over to you. What do you have planned? We're gonna find out. Stay tuned and I'll see you next time. Take care and thanks.